with Emmanuel Ahmadu. If you can hear me and I am loud and clear, please go ahead, let me know in the comments. I'm super excited. It's been a while. Had the Leverage Conference, and now we've transited back to our School of Personal Development. If you can hear me and I am loud and clear enough, please go ahead and let me know in the comments. Amazing. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. This is the School of Personal Development with Emmanuel Ahmadu, and I am super excited about what I'm going to be teaching and what I'm going to be sharing tonight. You are in the comments. You can hear me loud and clear. Fantastic. Jethro Sunday says, can hear me loud and clear enough. This is the second training session for a series that we've been having, started before the Leverage Conference, the Pillars of Financial Prosperity. And tonight we're continuing with part 2. It's going to be a mind-blowing one. I'm super excited about what I'm going to be sharing. It's going to be a life-transforming session. Make sure you do well. Subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed to the channel. Also do well to share this video at least with someone. You can share it on your WhatsApp status. Go ahead, let me know your first name and your current location. I'd like to do a quick shout out as usual before we get started and jump right into the business for the night. So comment your first name and your current location. I'll do a quick shout out. We'll jump right into the business of tonight. One more time, this is the School of Personal Development with Emmanuel Ahmadu, a free bi-monthly training program where you are equipped and empowered with principle-based, life-applicable knowledge that is guaranteed to change and to transform your life. And tonight, we're shifting to the second part. We started a 2-part series the last time we met in the month of April, titled The Pillars of Financial Prosperity. It's a very strategic teaching. And tonight, we're continuing with part 2. Do not forget to like, do not forget to share, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. That said, let me do a quick shout out and then we'll jump right into the business for tonight. I'm already excited about what I'm going to be teaching and what I'm going to be sharing. Is going to change somebody's life, change somebody's financial destiny for good. So I'll go ahead with a shout out. I can see Shedrack from Edo State. Good to have you. I see Compassion all the way from Abuja. Compassion, good to have you. I see Godfrey from Kaduna. Good to have you. I see Phil connecting from Ebonyi. Good to have you. By the way, if you're just joining in, this is your first School of Personal Development. Be sure to let me know in the comments so that I can welcome you more warmly. I see Simon from Abuja. Okay. I see Cyprine from South Africa. Good to have you, Cyprine. I see Nathan from Abuja. Nathan, good to have you. Michael, all the way from Zambia. Good to have you. I see Fuminto from London. Good to have you. Last week I was in Liverpool and I had the privilege. I think I met with Fumito. God bless you. Good to have you here. I see Fumike. Is that Fumike? From Canada, good to have you. Thank you so much for joining in. Without wasting any further time, I'll jump right into the business for tonight. So this is the School of Personal Development with Emmanuel Ahmadu, and tonight we're looking at the second part of our teaching series, the Pillars of Financial Prosperity, where I'm sharing with us the fundamentals of wealth and abundance. I'm going to do a quick recap from the teaching from the last session. By the way, if you've not listened to the teaching, if you've not watched the message, it is on YouTube. You can go search the Leaders Manna Network catalog. You'll find the teaching there, the Pillars of Financial Prosperity, part 1. But this is part 2, and I'll start off with a quick recap of part 1 so that at least we can, build from there. So I started the teaching by sharing with us that the subject of finance is one subject that concerns everybody, regardless of race, regardless of your religion, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your tribe. The subject of finance, when it has to do with money, it is one subject that concerns everybody. And if you decide to ignore the subject of finances, you will suffer here on earth. You may go to heaven, but you will suffer here on earth if you ignore the subject of finance. And I shared a scripture with us, Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19 to 20, the Amplified. Let me read it. It says, a feast is made for laughter, and wine makes life merry. It says, but money is the answer to everything. In bracket, it says, providing the means for enjoyment of life. Another version says, money answereth all things. So the subject of finances is one that concerns everybody, regardless of your race, regardless of your tribe, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your religion. Money affects everybody. So pay attention to the teaching. And then went ahead to share with us that what inspired me to do this teaching. You will hardly hear me teach on finance. Usually I teach on success, I teach on self-discipline, I teach on overcoming procrastination and all of that. But I was compelled to teach on finance because I discovered that many young people are being misled. There's a lot of information on the subject of finance, but many of them are misleading. You see, the information that are out there on finance, on wealth, on prosperity, most of them are not holistic. Most of them are loop-sided. And when it has to do with finance, it is important that you have a holistic perspective of finance. Most of the books, most of the videos you would watch on finance, they only teach how to make money, how to, set up a business and all of this. And it is not wrong. It is not bad. It's just that it is incomplete. So my motivation for doing the teaching is to expose us to a holistic perspective of financial prosperity. What are the pillars? If you focus on just one aspect of financial prosperity, your journey to wealth and abundance will be lopsided, and it is going to have a side effect. So the goal of this teaching, of this series, is to expose us to a holistic perspective of finance. Hence the topic, the pillars of financial prosperity. Pillars talks about the foundation, what holds the building together. And this is what the teaching is all about. I then went ahead to share with us that there are three primary reasons why God blesses us, why we need money. There are three major reasons. And I said that if you do not know the purpose for wealth and abundance, it will destroy you. It was late Dr. Miles Monroe who said that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. It is important to understand the purpose of wealth and abundance. And I shared with us that there are three reasons why you need money. Number one is so that you can live a comfortable life. You see, so that you can live a comfortable life. There is nothing wrong if you, instead of driving by road, you fly by plane. You see, many of the kidnappings that are being done is because people are traveling by road. You will never hear that they kidnap people on the sky. So, but you need money to fly aeroplane. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So when you have money, it helps you to live a comfortable life. There is nothing wrong that you are empowered financially to live a comfortable life. You know, when you talk about things like balanced diet, it is the person that has money that can eat balanced diet. Somebody who does not, who is earning maybe 30,000 naira every month, has no business with balanced diet. But when you are financially empowered, it affects every area of your life. You are able to live healthy. There's a saying that there is no romance without finance. So money helps your marriage. Money helps you build a stable family. Finance, the first reason why you need money is to live a comfortable life. Let me make progress. I'm just doing a recap from the last part that we had. The second reason I said why you need money is so that you can be a blessing to humanity. Broke people cannot be a blessing to people. You need finance to be a blessing. It is one thing to have goodwill and good intention. There are many of us listening to me. You desire to do good. You desire to bless people. You desire to be a blessing to people, but you are not financially empowered. Finances will empower you to be a blessing. You cannot be a blessing if you are broke. The third reason I shared why you need money is so that you can advance God's agenda on earth. I shared with us that God has an agenda. If you read Zechariah chapter 1 verse 17, it says, "Crieth, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad." He says, "And the Lord yet shall comfort Zion and shall yet choose Jerusalem. My city shall be spread abroad through prosperity." It takes finances to be a kingdom ambassador. If you want to help God, you see, it is a God-man partnership. The kingdom come agenda is a God-man partnership. You need to be financially empowered to be able to bring the kingdom of heaven on earth. I then went ahead to share with us the law of recognition. And I said that if the law of recognition is not obeyed, it will be impossible for you to sustain the drive, the passion, the hunger that is required to enter into the wealthy place. I stated that the law of recognition simply states that until you have a strong desire for wealth, you will never be wealthy. Until you see the need for wealth, you will not be wealthy. There are many people who do not see the need for wealth. They have not seen the need. There are many people who, when you talk about finances, they say talk about something else because they feel like finance is a sin, is a taboo. The person who will value these kinds of teachings is a person who has suffered the consequences of being broke. Imagine if you had a loved one who died because you could not afford the medical bills. Imagine if your friends mocked you because you were asking them for 2K. You see, when you see the need for finances, the energy to go for it automatically comes. I then went ahead to share with us defining a few of the terminologies that will be the foundation of the teaching. I defined for us 3 terminologies. The first was the terminology or the term poverty. Many people do not know what poverty is. Many people think that poverty just simply means lack. That when somebody does not have money, it means that the person is poor. No, poverty is more than that. I define poverty as a mental and physical state of lack. So poverty is beyond just the lack of money. Poverty starts with a lack in the mind. Poverty is a combination of mental bankruptcy plus the physical lack. So the physical lack is just an extension of the lack that is in the mind. So the lack in the mind plus the lack in the hands is what is called poverty. That's why even if you give a poor man $1 million, he will still be poor. You know why? Because a poor mind will always produce a poor life. I defined riches. I went ahead to define riches. And I said riches is the presence of abundant financial resources. That when somebody has a lot of money, you can say that person is rich, but they are not wealthy. So you see, from the definition that I gave of poverty, poverty is a lack both in the mind and then in the hands. And you see, if you have sufficiency in the hands, but you have lack in the mind, you are still not wealthy. So there are many people who are rich, but they are still poor. Did you hear that? There are many people who are rich, but they are still poor. That's why somebody can win $1 million. And then maybe a year later or even a few months later, that person becomes broke. You know why? Because just because you have abundance in your hands does not mean that you are wealthy. Wealth starts from the mind. Wealth starts from the mind. Financial abundance does not automatically make you wealthy. You can have $1 million in the bank and you are still a poor person because you can lose that money. Real wealth starts from the mind. I went ahead to define wealth for us. What does it mean to be wealthy? And I said wealth means riches plus the ability to replenish it plus the time freedom to enjoy it. Let me repeat that wealth means riches. That means financial abundance plus the ability to replenish it. If you cannot replenish it, you are not wealthy. And then the ability, the ability to replenish it, and then the time freedom to enjoy it. So wealth is a combination of 3 things. Number 1, financial abundance, and then the ability to replenish, and then the time freedom to enjoy it. If these three components are not there, then you are not wealthy. So you see that wealth is beyond just having money. There are many people who have a lot of money, but they are not wealthy. And the teaching, the goal of the teaching is not just to teach you how to have money, but to teach you how to be wealthy, such that you have money and you have the ability to replenish it and the time freedom to enjoy it. So it is a holistic teaching. I then went ahead to share with us that there are two fundamental facts, or I shared with us two fundamental facts about financial prosperity. The first fact I shared with us is that nobody becomes financially prosperous by luck. Nobody becomes financially prosperous by luck. You can have financial abundance by luck. You can win a lottery by luck. But when it has to do with wealth, prosperity, it cannot happen by luck. If you read Proverbs 22 verse 2, it says the rich and the poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all. God made them all, but their decisions was what made them rich or poor. If you read Leviticus chapter 9 verse 6, it says, and Moses said, this is the thing which the Lord commanded that ye should do. It says, and the glory shall appear unto you. There is something to do to become wealthy. You don't stumble into wealth. You can stumble into riches, but you cannot stumble into wealth. Very profound. The second fact that I shared about wealth, financial prosperity, is that the journey to financial prosperity begins with the pursuit of financial intelligence. Let me repeat. The journey to financial prosperity begins with the pursuit of financial intelligence, not a business. You see, not hustling. If you want to be wealthy, it starts with your mind. The Bible says, thou anointed my head with oil. Psalm 23 verse 5. It says, thou anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Take note. Something came upon my head for something to enter into my hands. If your head is not empowered, your hands will be empty. Let me repeat that. If your head is not empowered, your hands will be empty. True wealth starts with the mind. So when you want to begin your journey to financial prosperity, it starts by a hunger for financial intelligence. Believe me, I know many people do not want to pay attention to this. You can have money. Take note. I did not say that you cannot have money without financial intelligence. But if it is wealth you desire, the ability to replenish your financial abundance and the time freedom to enjoy it, you must be empowered mentally. And then I introduced to us the pillars of financial prosperity. I shared with us that every building has pillars, and those pillars are what sustains those buildings. Let me let you know that every book you have read is centered around these three pillars. That these three pillars captures holistically what it takes to be financially prosperous. If you ignore any one of these pillars, you will not be financially free. You will not be wealthy. You can have financial abundance, but if it has to do with wealth, the ability to replenish and the time freedom to enjoy, you need to pay attention to these pillars. And I shared the pillars with us, the last contact that we had. I said, number one, the first pillar is how to manage money. Talks about financial management. The second pillar is how to make money. The first pillar is how to manage money, talking about financial management. The second pillar is how to make money, talking about streams of income. And then the third pillar is how to multiply money, talking about investment. If you're going to be wealthy, you must master these three pillars: financial management, streams of income, and then investment. These are the three cardinal pillars that makes for wealth and abundance. Now you see many books and many videos online, many courses, they focus on one of the pillars. And there's nothing wrong. But you cannot be wealthy if you do not pay attention to the three pillars. If you have a building that is held by three pillars and you remove two, that building will crumble. So it takes a sustained knowledge of the three pillars for you to be financially prosperous. Not having financial abundance. I'm talking about wealth and abundance. So the goal of the teaching was to share with us, expose us. It's not really a thorough teaching, it's an expository teaching, helping us understand the foundational pillars that make for wealth and abundance. And I said the first is how to manage money. The second is how to make money. The third is how to multiply money. We'll delve into each of the pillars and then we'll wrap up for tonight. But if you're getting value, go ahead and comment value in the comments. Go ahead, let me see you type value or the fire emoji. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you click on the subscribe button. Do well to share this video with at least one person. It's such a tremendous teaching. It's one teaching that I'm confident that testimonies will abound and testimonies will arise. If you want to be financially prosperous, you must pay attention to these three pillars. Amazing. I can see the comments on fire. Michael, thank you. I can see Adesoji. Thank you, Michael Bayo. Amazing, amazing. Cyprine, amazing. So, pillar number one. The first pillar is how to manage money. You can write in bracket financial management. How to manage money. Very profound. I know some of you are thinking, why didn't I start with how to make money? You see, if you don't know how to manage money, making money will be an effort in futility. If you don't know how to manage money, one of the reasons why a lot of people are broke is not because they don't know how to make money. It's because they have not set systems for managing money. They do not understand financial management models and systems. That is why they are broke. If you're going to be wealthy, your first assignment is to understand how to manage money. When you see all of these real estate developers who want to, maybe they want to build an estate, they don't just connect the city to waterboard. They don't just connect the estate to waterboard. They will first of all create reservoirs. Those reservoirs will be what will store the water. When they connect that water, estate to waterboard. If they don't connect the estate, if they don't build reservoirs and they connect the estate to waterboard, that water will become destructive. It can waste. You see, they will not be able to store the waters. So when you want to be wealthy, when you are beginning your journey to wealth and abundance, your first pursuit of knowledge should be how to manage money. You must understand financial management systems for you to be wealthy. Proverbs 21 verse 20. Proverbs 21 and verse 20. By the way, you will hear me share scriptures, not because this is a religious platform, but for me, the Bible is my book of reference. So I share not from a fanatic standpoint, but, as a book of reference. Proverbs 21:20. It says, there is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise. It says, but a foolish man spends it up. You know what that means? That if you spend all that you earn, the Bible is saying you are a fool. The day I had this scripture, I think it was Pastor Sam Adeyemi that was teaching and I had the scripture, I felt so touched. I was like, is this man insulting me? But it's very true that only a foolish man will spend all that they earn. That means if you spend all that you earn, the Bible says you are a fool. I've had the privilege to study and read books of successful people, especially people who are successful financially. And let me tell you, this is one non-negotiable rule that you must keep if you're going to be wealthy. The ability to save from what you make. The ability to not spend all that you earn. Anybody who spends all that they earn will never be wealthy. Did you hear that? If you spend all that you earn, forget about wealth and abundance. I know there's somebody that is saying, Mr. Emmanuel, but what I have is not enough. My salary is just 100K. My salary is just 30K. Let me shock you. If you cannot save when you are earning 30,000 naira, you will not be able to save when you are earning 1 million. Did you hear that? If you cannot save, you see, management starts with little. If you cannot manage little, you cannot manage much. There are many people who are saying when they increase my salary, I will start saving. let me shock you. You will not start saving anything. If you cannot manage that 10,000 naira that you are earning every month, if you cannot manage that 20,000, that 30,000, that 50,000, that 100,000, that 1 million, you cannot manage much. Management starts with little. There is a law called the Parkinson's law of expansion. The Parkinson's law of expansion. And let me tell you what the law states. The law states that your needs will always expand to meet your income. Your needs will always expand to meet your income. That means if you are earning 50,000 naira and you are still, you are making ends meet, the moment they increase your salary to maybe 100,000 naira, your needs will automatically increase to that 100,000 naira. This is a law that is very practical. How many of us, the day they sent you money, you went to the market? And when you went to the market, you that used to use a body spray of 2,000 naira, all of a sudden, you have started craving body spray of 10,000 naira. You see, people who used to have problems and not remember you, now they have problems and they are remembering you. Money is magnetic. Money knows how to attract problems, attract use. It takes discipline to save. Did you hear that? It takes discipline. In fact, the book we read, I think in the month of March, The Richest Man in Babylon. By the way, let me recommend everybody get that book and read. One of the first laws they shared for wealth and abundance is that you save 1/10 of all that you earn. That 10% of what you earn is for your future. If you cannot save, listen to me. If you cannot save, you cannot be wealthy. It cannot be wealthy. So I'm speaking to somebody, I'm reminding somebody, go and start saving. Don't say the money is too small. Remember, if you cannot save when you have little, when you have much, you will not save. When you have much, you will not save. And let me tell you how it is. Why you need to have a financial management system. You need a financial management system because you see, if you keep making money, but you don't have a system for storing that money or for saving that money, you will not be able to grow that money. You see? So savings is very important. It's like somebody who opens a tap and is fetching water with basket. That basket will never be full. Why? It has hole. So before you allow water to enter into your bucket, make sure you sort out the holes. Sort out the holes. That's why you need a financial management system. Is somebody getting value? Please do not downplay what you are receiving. These are teachings that took time to learn. It cost me to learn some of the things that I'm sharing with us now for free. So do not undervalue it. By the way, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Let me define what a financial management system is. Are we ready? You can put it up in the comments if you're writing. A financial management system. A financial management system is a framework of processes that help you track, control, and optimize your financial resources. Let me repeat it one more time. A financial management system is a framework of processes that help you track, control, and optimize your financial resources. You can put semicolon or you can write this under. It makes it easy for you to efficiently spend, save, and multiply your money. Why do you need a financial management system? Because it helps you efficiently spend, it helps you save, and it helps you multiply your money. If you don't have a financial management system, you will be reckless with your spending, you will not be able to save, and you will not be able to grow your money. So a financial management system helps you achieve three things. Number one, spend effectively. Number two, save money. And then number three, invest that money that you have saved so that you can grow it. If you read Isaiah 55 and verse 10, it says, for as rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, it says, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, it says, and maketh it bring forth and bud, it says, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. Seed to the sower and bread to the eater. Write this down, that every money God gives you is made up of two parts. Every money that God gives you is made up of two parts. Number one is seed, and then number two is bread. Every money that God gives you is both seed and bread. If you eat your seed, you will not have any harvest tomorrow. So if God gives you 10,000 naira, part of that money is for your future. If God gives you 100,000 naira, part of that money is for your future, and part of that money is for your survival. Every money that comes into your hands is seed and it is bread. What is seed for? Seed is for the future. Seed includes your tithe, it includes your savings, it includes your givings. Anything that has the potential to grow is your seed. And then bread. Bread is for your today, it's for your survival. It includes, money that is required for your survival to meet your needs and your expenses. Now, there are people who turn everything God gives them into seed and they die never to eat it, never to eat the harvest. And there are people who do not think about seed, they turn everything that God gives them to bread, and then they don't have anything to eat in the future. No, there must be a balance. A part of every money that God gives you is seed and bread. Seed and bread. And you need a financial management system to manage whatever it is that God gives you. I wrote down here that to experience financial abundance, you must set up a financial management system to ensure that you do not spend all that you earn. If you're going to be financially free, you must set up a financial management system to ensure that you do not spend all that you earn. Remember our scripture that I shared with us. Don't forget it. Proverbs 21:20 that says only a foolish man spends all that he earns. So don't say that my money is not enough. I remember going for a seminar. Somebody said, I'm just a student. All I have is 20K. They said for me it's 20K. Should I still save from there? I said save. Because you see, it's about the habit. It's not about the size of what you are saving. If you cannot save when you are making 20,000 naira, you cannot save when you start making $1 million naira or $1 million. So it is even more powerful, more easier to save when you are earning little than to save when you are earning much. So every money that God gives you is both seed and bread. Now let me share with us how to set up a financial management system. How do you set up? This is such a profound teaching that I'm teaching us tonight. How do you set up a financial management system? Number one, the first step to setting up a financial management system is to identify all your streams of income. Identify all your current streams of income. What are all the sources that money comes to you through? You see, for some of us, it could be favor. People dash you money, people give you money. It could be honorarium for somebody like me. When I have the opportunity to teach at seminars, people invite me maybe to church or to a conference to come and teach. They usually put a little money in the envelope. That's a stream of income. What's another stream of income? I'm talking about myself now. Knowledge products. I sell, knowledge products. For example, the 90-day strategic growth daily mentor program that I sell, even as at yesterday, somebody bought. That's a knowledge product. So all of that is a stream of income. You need to, first of all, identify all your streams of income. Number two, for each of the streams of income that you have identified, you must create a sharing formula. You must create a sharing formula such that you have both seed and bread. So for every stream of income, what is going to be your sharing formula for seed and for bread? Now, generally, the sharing formula is usually 30-70. That means 30% of all your income should go as seed. 70% should be bread. That means if money comes as favor, 70%, 30% will become seed. Money that I will save for the future or for investment, and then 70% I can use to meet my current needs. Now, but because you have different sources of income, you can vary the sharing formula. So for example, honorarium now, I don't save 30%. I literally save almost everything. So 80% of all honorarium will go as seed. 20% can now enter into my pocket to meet my needs. When money comes as favor, I can save maybe 30% as seed, then 70% will go into my expense account to meet my needs. I hope we're getting what I'm saying. The third step, I'm showing us how to set up a financial management system. If you don't know this, you cannot be wealthy. Wealthy people are systemic people. There is nobody who becomes wealthy if they don't have system around their finances. I tell you why many people will go for wedding and they will spray their children's school fees. Because they don't have a system. Somebody just collects salary, goes for a wedding, and then he sees people spray money, and before he knows it, he starts spraying money, and he sprays his entire salary because he does not have a financial management system. Number 3, create separate accounts for seed and for bread. Very important. You must create separate accounts. You cannot put the money for your seed where you are keeping your bread. So generally for seed, I usually would recommend having 2 accounts for seed. The first account is for investment. And then the second account is for future expense savings. That's for emergency. For investments and then for future expense savings or living expense savings. 2 kinds of seed. Seed can also be known as savings account. So there are 2 kinds of savings account that I usually recommend. The first is for investment, because the primary reason why you save is so that you can invest and grow the money. So you need an investment savings account, and then you have a living expense savings account. What do you do with the living expense savings account? You save at least 3 to 6 months of your monthly expense. That means if you need maybe 300,000 naira to survive every month, you need to save up to 900,000 or 1.8 million in that savings account for emergency and then for other expenses that may come up. For example, let's say somebody who is doing a 9 to 5 and they sack you. Do you have a living expense savings account that you can continue to feed off of? That's why you see when coronavirus happened, many people went into depression because they did not have savings for living. They did not have savings for livings. They do not have savings for emergency. Is somebody getting value? This is profound wisdom. When Joseph now was recommending to the king, how many of us have read the Bible where he saw 7 cows, 7 lean cows and 7 fat cows? And he was explaining, I said there will be 7 years of abundance and then there will be 7 years of famine. His strategy was that the king should save a portion, I think 1/3 of everything that they had during the 7 years of abundance, so that when the 7 years of famine come, they will have something to eat on, feed on. You see the wisdom. So you need to save. The living expense savings is for emergencies. Don't be the kind of person who maybe your wife wants to give birth by CS and you say no, she must deliver naturally. Not because you have faith or anything, but because you don't have the money. There are many people who do not have savings for emergencies. You need savings for emergencies. You need at least 3 months, 3 to 6 months. There are people who even do 9 months. 9 months of living expense, monthly living expense saved up for emergencies. And then the second account you need to open is bread account. You need an account that is dedicated for expenses. Don't spend directly from your savings account. You will never be wealthy. Spend from your spending account or your expense account. So you need an account that you can spend from, usually a current account that you can always be spending from. Don't mix your savings and your expense together. You will not be wealthy that way. Michael says, I'm talking to him. Somebody getting value. I'm sharing with us how to set up a financial management system. Don't forget, I said number 1, you identify your streams of income. Number 2, for each of the streams, create a sharing formula, usually a 30-70 formula. Number 3, I said create separate accounts for seed and for bread. Don't put all your money in one place. And then number 4, discipline yourself to stick to your system no matter what happens. If you have a system and you don't discipline yourself to follow it, it is as good as not having a system. The purpose of having a system is so that you can implement it and reap the rewards of that system. So discipline yourself to stick to your system. That means if money comes, don't spend automatically. Have your sharing formula in place and begin to place the money. Now you have an account for savings. You have an account for investment. You put money there. You have an account for living expense savings. You put money there. You have an account for your what do you call it now? Expense. Your expense account. You put money there so that you can spend from that account. And then lastly, measure your growth periodically. It is very important. Whatever you don't measure will not grow. Or whatever you don't measure, you will not be consistent at. So it is very important for you to measure your growth, right? So once in a while, usually first of every month, I will go through my accounts, both my savings account and my expense account. So I go through it and see, okay, what progress have I made? My investment account last month, I had maybe 2 million. This month, now I have 2.5 million. So you must measure the growth. You see, this is the hard work. This is the mental work that is required to be wealthy. Many people just want to spend anyhow. They just want to be free. Let me receive salary and spend it. You will not be wealthy that way. It takes a level of having a dexterous system to be wealthy. What are the benefits of having savings? Before we move to the second pillar, what are the benefits of having having savings? Remember, I said every money that comes to you, part of it is bread and part of it is seed, right? What is the benefit of having seed in place, savings in place? The first benefit of having savings is that it was going to boost your self-esteem. Have you seen people who have savings in their account? They don't get easily depressed. One of the fastest way to cure depressions is to have money saved somewhere. You know the worst thing that will happen to you if they break your heart and you are broke. Did somebody get that? When you have savings, have you seen the wealthy person that they break his heart and he's crying? Imagine you have maybe 10 million saved somewhere or 1 billion saved somewhere and somebody breaks your heart. You will just carry that money and go for vacation. Or do something that way, or just the thought of having that money has a way of even healing you. So having savings enhances your self-esteem. Don't be the kind of person who you are eating from hand to mouth, hand to mouth. You are going to be depressed. Now, you're going to be depressed. The second benefit of having savings is that you are empowered to make better decisions. Empowered to make better decisions. There is nobody that makes bad decisions like a poor person. You know why a poor person makes bad decisions? Because there are pressure. You know that house rent will soon be due. Children's school fees will soon be due. You don't know what your children will eat tomorrow. You can't make good decisions in that state. When you begin to save, that peace of mind will help you make good decisions, will help you make better decisions. So this is a counsel for those who are not saving. You want to be able to make good decisions, start saving and see. It gives you the peace of mind to make productive decisions. Profound. And then lastly, having savings positions you to maximize investment opportunities. Did you hear that? When you have savings, it empowers you to take advantage and maximize investment opportunities. There are opportunities that will come that if you don't have money saved up, you can't take advantage of it. For example, maybe somebody wants to sell a land, distress sales, a land that is worth maybe 100 million. And the person, because they're in a hurry, they want to sell it 30 million. Because you have savings, you can take advantage of that opportunity. Right now, I think Dangote Refinery is about to go IPO. I don't know if I'm right, but IPO, they're about to start selling shares. If you don't have money, you can't buy the shares. So when you have savings in place, you can take advantage of investment opportunity. Profound. So the first pillar of financial prosperity, the first key pillar that you must pay attention to is how to manage money, financial management. Did somebody get value from this pillar? So if you don't have savings, one of the things that you should do right now is to go and set up your system. I've shown us how to develop a financial management system. Go and set up your system for managing your finance. Once that is done, you can now move to the second pillar. What is the second pillar? The second pillar is How to make money, streams of income. Now that you have fixed your bucket, you have blocked all the holes, you have created a financial management system, you can now begin to let it rain. You can now begin to let it rain. Let the money begin to flow in, because now you can channel the money. There's a verse in the Bible that I like so much. He said, because there was no man to manage the earth, God did not allow it to rain. That means God will never bring increase where there is no management. So now that you have a management system, you can now focus on making money, because the more money you make, the more money you can save, the more you can invest, the more you can grow. Is somebody getting value? How to make money. How to make money. Now, this is very profound, because there are things you need to know to make money, streams of income. How do you increase the flow of water into a bucket? There are two ways to increase the flow of water into a bucket. Number one, you increase the flow, you open the tap to maximum capacity. That means you rotate it 100% so that water can flow. Number two, you add more taps to pour water into the bucket. So when it has to do with making money, there are two mentalities you must have. First of all, you must maximize your current streams of income. I know people talk about multiple streams of income a lot, but what is the use of creating more streams of income if you have not maximized the current stream that you have? For example, if you are a teacher, you can be teaching in a classroom, and then you can create a course out of that you're teaching. You can write a book to help people who want to become teachers. You see, you are maximizing that stream of income. So before you create multiple streams of income, you want to first of all maximize your current stream of income. Let me share with us how to make more money. How to make more money. Tonight is a balanced diet I'm giving us. How do you make more money? If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. How do you make more money? Let me share steps with us. Remember, I said there are two mindsets you have. Number one, you have to identify your current streams and maximize it. And then number two, you need to add more streams. So how do you make more money? Number one, identify all your current streams of income. You want to make more money? You have to start by identifying all your current streams of income. How does money come to you? You need to identify it. What are the channels through which money has come to you? It could be your job, salary. It could be that you wrote a book. It could be favor. It could be honorarium. It could be that you sold a product. It could be from your business. Write down all the ways that money gets to you. Number two, ask yourself, how can I maximize these current streams of income? How can I maximize these current streams of income? Now that you have identified your streams of income, the next thing to do is to ask yourself, how can I make the most of them? For example, if one of your streams of income is favor, how do you maximize it? It means by being more intentional about relationships, about the relationships that is bringing you favor. It means that you need to be more grateful. It means that you also need to begin to invest in the relationship. So when you identify the stream of income, ask yourself, how can I maximize it? What are the things that I can do to unlock it more open? You see, when they discover oil, those who are in the oil sector, when they discover oil, they don't leave the other well to go and focus on the new well that they discovered. No. In fact, when they discover a well, they make sure they maximize and draw out all the oil that is in that well before they move to the next one, or they can do it simultaneously. So you need to draw all the oil you can find from your current stream of income. And you must pay attention to do that. So if it is for favor, don't trivialize it. Who has been giving me money? How can I maintain that relationship? For some of us, there are people you need to send thank you to. Thank you. I noticed for the past 1 year, I've received more than $1 million from you as gift. I just thought to say thank you. You know what you are doing? You are maximizing that stream. How about your salary? Your salary is a stream of income. How do you maximize it? Could it be that you can be more hardworking? Is there a skill that you need to learn so that you can earn more? Do you need to be more diligent so that your boss will recognize you and pay you more? How can you maximize the streams of income that you already have? That's the question you should be asking. How about business? Money is coming through business. What can I do? Can I learn a skill? Can I learn how to advertise my business? Should I create another product? You see, maximize your current streams of income. Number 3, how do you make more money? You ask yourself, what other streams of income can I add to my existing streams of income? That's the third way to make more money. If you have 3 streams of income, you need to ask, what other streams can I add? One stream of income is not enough in this economy. Did you hear that? You need multiple streams of income. Additionally to your job, can you write a book? Could you put an online course online? Can you start another job? You see, what other streams of income can you add to your current streams of income? It could be a job. It could be an additional business. Could you start a business as a side hustle? You know, maybe a clothing business, a rental business, a food business, a transportation business. Can you start a transportation company? How about an education business? Can you start lecturing, training young children within your area who are writing WAEC and all of that? You must think of additional streams of income that you can add. How about freelancing? Can I start learn graphic design and be offering it online? Graphic design skill. Can I learn social media management? Think of new streams of incomes that you can add to your existing stream of income. So if you want to make more money, the first key is to identify your current streams. The second key is to ask yourself, how can I maximize these current streams? The third key is to ask yourself, what new streams can I add? There is always a new stream to add. There's always a new stream. It could be getting a job. It could be writing a book. It could be learning social media management so that you can start managing people's social media pages. But by all means, maximize your streams of income. Now that you have a financial management system, you want to make sure you are making as much money as possible so that your savings can be growing. You see, your investments can be growing because you already have those in place. Let me wrap up my discussion on this pillar by sharing with us the formula for financial abundance. How do you increase your reward in the marketplace? There are 4 major ways to increase your reward. Write this down if you're writing. That your reward in the marketplace is directly proportional to 4 things. Your reward in the marketplace is directly proportional to 4 things. Number 1, the need for what you do. Talking about your value. You must have something to offer. Number 2, who you do it for. Your audience. If you are serving kings, you will receive the rewards of kings. If you are serving mean men, average people, you will receive the reward from average people. So your goal is to make sure you serve kings. If you are a tailor, don't be a tailor for average people. You see, the dress I'm putting on now, it was my tailor. I have a tailor in Kaduna that did it. Paid him good money for it. Now, that tailor can be struggling to sew for people 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, but he decided to hone his skill, being very excellent. You see, attracting people who can pay him for the value that he's offering. So if you want to increase your value in the marketplace, make sure you serve kings. Don't serve average people. Number 3, your value is directly proportional to how good you are, your competence, your level of competence. How good are you? If you are average, you will have average results. If you are excellent, you will have excellent results. So it is not enough to just know how to do it. How good are you in doing it? I'm speaking right now, and I have a number of you listening to me. If what I was saying was not making sense, none of you will be listening to me. You see? So the more I increase my value, the more I increase my competence, my ability to deliver life applicable truth that produce, real results, the more the listeners of the School of Personal Development will increase. Competence will increase your value in the marketplace. And then lastly, the difficulty in replacing you, your character. You want your value to increase in the marketplace, you need to work on your character, your patience, your ability to, to be honest, your integrity. Don't be the kind of person who says, I will deliver tomorrow, and 1 week later you have not delivered and you are blocking that person. No. So your character. So your reward in the marketplace is directly proportional to your value, your audience, your competence, and your character. I shared all of these things to let you know that you can increase your income. Once you have your financial management system in place, you need to begin to increase your income. I have a book. I have a course. You see, I have all sorts of investments. There are many things I'm doing that is bringing money again and again and again. Whilst I'm teaching now, there is somebody that is paying for my online course. After this night, I will recommend it. I know there are people who will buy. You see, there is somebody who will reach out to me for coaching. You need to have streams of income, systems that are bringing in money. And your value is what determines your reward. There is a science to money. Money does not come to people who do not have value. Stop chasing money. Money is chasing value. You make money to the degree to which you are valuable. If you're not valuable, you'll be broke. Money is chasing value. If you want money, become value. Did somebody get that? Stop begging people for money. Become value. Money exchange hands on the platform of value. How did money leave your hand today? You took transportation, you gave money. You ate food, you gave money. You see? So if you want to have the money, start a transportation business, start a food business. Don't beg for money. Become valuable so that you can attract money. The pillar of streams of income, how to make money. The final pillar, you want to be wealthy. It's not just enough to know how to manage money. It's not just enough to know how to make money. If you want to be wealthy, you must know how to multiply money. This talks about investment. Somebody write that down. Investment, how to multiply money. You will never be wealthy if you do not know how to multiply money. You will never be wealthy if you don't know how to multiply money. Wealthy people I wrote down here don't just know how to make money. They know how to make their money work for them. That's what it means to multiply money. Every time I sleep and wake up, my money is working for me. You see, that's what it means to replenish. That's what it means to replenish. There are people who have money, but their money is not making money for them. It's like a tree. Money is like a tree. When you plant it, you allow it grow, and then you begin to eat from the fruit. You don't eat the seed. You allow it grow and work for you so that you begin to eat the fruit. If I eat the fruit, the tree is still there. Is that right? So the end game is to create systems that can make money for you even whilst you sleep. Those systems are called investment. It's like digging a borehole. Somebody who have a bucket of water but does not have a borehole is not the same as somebody who has a bucket of water and has a borehole. You see, because the person who has a bucket of water, even if that water finishes, he can fetch again because there is a borehole. So before you start fetching water, make sure you sink a borehole. That's what investment is all about. So when you start making money and you start saving money, the next point of call is to translate your savings into investment. That's why I said the primary purpose of saving money is for investment. So you see how it works. You make money, you save money, then you invest the money. So every money you make, you are trying to see how you can turn it into a stream that can make money on its own. You are trying to see how you can convert that money into an investment system. That's how wise people think. Do you know that if you have, let me shock us, do you know that if you have 70 million naira and 50 million naira in high yield savings account that gives about 16% per annum, if you have something like PiggyVest, if you put 50 million naira there, do you know you make 700,000 naira every month, even without touching your principal? It will just keep making money for you. Your principal is intact. This is how wealthy people think. Now imagine if you have 1 billion naira in fixed deposit, or $1 billion or 1 billion naira in mutual fund. That money just keeps making money for you, and you are eating out of that money that is being made. Wise and wealthy people don't eat their seeds. They eat the children that their seed produces. That's what investment is all about. So when you start saving money, your point of thinking should be how to invest the money, not how to eat the money. That's why if you have 10 million, you are not wealthy. You are only wealthy when you can convert that 10 million into an investment vehicle that makes money for you recurringly. This is so profound. So profound. If you manage to raise 15 million and you put in mutual funds, you can be making almost 250,000 naira every month. That's somebody's salary, and you don't have to do anything. Remember, I said that wealth is the ability, is having financial abundance, plus the ability to replenish it, plus the time freedom to enjoy it. So if you don't have the time freedom to enjoy it, you are not wealthy. And how do you have the time freedom to enjoy it? When your money is working for you and you don't have to work, you are wealthy. So you see people like Otedola, like Dangote, they set up these businesses and investments, they buy stocks and all of these things, and then they can afford to go for vacations and spend money because they have the investment systems to replenish the money that they are spending. That's how wealthy people think. Wealthy people don't spend the money they make. They spend the money that their investments make. So they convert the money they make to investment vehicles that make money for them that they can spend. Do you get what I'm saying? This is deliverance for somebody tonight. After the teaching, you need to sit down and watch this teaching again. By the way, if you want access to the audio recording, you can get access to our premium community, the Element Plus community. It's a token monthly subscription. You get access to the audio of this teaching. But you need to have an investment vehicle. You must learn how to make your money work for you. Now, the subject of investment is a broad one, and it can take an entire teaching to teach on investment. But let me share with us the basics of investment. Rules of investment. Let me share 4 rules with us. 4 rules of investment. Is somebody ready? If you want to invest, you must pay attention to this investment. Investment is not just putting your money in MMM. No, there are rules that guide investment. Number 1, the first rule of investment is that never be under pressure to invest. You want to invest profitably? Never be under pressure. Never be under pressure to invest. Don't ever be under pressure. Somebody comes to come and meet you and say, oh boy, there's one place, if you put your money, you make 10% every 1 month, every 1 month. Oh God, the moment you sense you are under pressure, do not invest. That's the first rule of investment. You want to win in the game of investment, you should never invest when you're under pressure. Rule number 2, never invest in what you don't understand. If you don't understand it, do not invest in it. You know, about 2 or 3 years ago, some of us invested in things that they called, 86W. There are some of us that invested in MMM. How many of us remember? If you remember, put it up in the comments. How many of us have been scammed before? They told you if you invest 100,000 naira in 1 month, you make 1 million. And you are eager. If you don't understand the value chain, do not invest in it. Always take your time to study what you are investing in before you invest. This is why it is advisable to always seek counsel from profitable investors before you invest. Don't just invest with ignorance. You see, they just tell you that this thing is bringing money and you want to put your money into it. No, take your time to study. I have various investments and none of them did I rush into. I took my time to study. How does it work? How does the value chain work? You must take your time to study the investment if you want to be profitable. Remember, investment is not just about making money. Investment is about growing money. Any investment or opportunity that tells you it's just about making money, that's not an investment. The goal of investment is to grow money, not just to make money. So you cannot look at investment from the standpoint of maybe a stream of income that you want to be using on a monthly basis. No. Usually investments are long term. So always take your time to study before your investment. Rule number 3. The third rule of investment is that the best investment is usually the one where your capital is guaranteed. The best investment is usually the one where your capital is guaranteed. So before you invest in anything, always ask yourself, if something happens, is my capital guaranteed? Now, you will take risks. If you want to invest profitably, you have to take risks. There are high risk investments. I'll be sharing some of them with us shortly. But if you want to be profitable, make sure, especially when you are starting out, always ask the question, if this thing goes sideways, what happens to my capital? Is it guaranteed? Is it guaranteed? So always find out if your capital will be guaranteed, then why not? That's why I like investing in, maybe real estate and all of those things, because even if it goes bad, I can sell the land and recoup part of my money. Investing in grains and all of that. Even if the price goes down, especially grains that don't get bad, you can sell it and recoup part of your money. But there are certain investments that everything can be wiped out. Those kinds of investment, you need a lot of intelligence to go into it. Number 4, the fourth rule of investment is never put all your eggs in one basket. And the reason why people fail these rules is because they are greedy. That's why people violate the laws of investment, because of greed. Never put all your eggs in one basket. There are people who just hear that this investment is good and they empty their account and they put it in. In fact, for a rule of thumb, never invest what you are not willing to lose. Never invest what you are not willing to lose. Although, depending, if your capital is guaranteed, it's okay to invest quite a number of your funds in it. But generally, never invest what you are not willing to lose. So do not put all your eggs in one basket. If that investment crashes or something happens to it, you are crashing down. Don't ever put yourself in that position. It takes, let me say this, it takes high-level patience to play the game of investment. Investment is not what you do overnight. You don't plant a tree today and then tomorrow the tree grows and you begin to eat from the fruit. No, it takes time for a tree to grow and then you begin to enjoy the fruit of that harvest. So when you want to invest, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Take time, study, take your time. Check, is my capital going to be secured? Take your time. Don't be under pressure. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Now, all investments carry risks. All investment carries. Let me say that. There is risks involved in all investment. There's no investment that is 100% risk-free. There are many people who will never invest their money because they are afraid. You will not be wealthy. It takes some level of courage and audacity to grow your money. But you see, knowledge and intelligence reduces that risk. That's why I shared the laws that I shared with us. But all investments have risks involved in it. Now, generally, there are 4 categories of investment in terms of risks. In terms of risk-reward ratio. The first is low risk, high reward. Low risk, high reward. This typically is investment in yourself. Self-investment is low risk, but the reward is high, even though it takes time. Reading books, listening to teachings like this, investing in yourself, learning skills is low risk investment and is high reward. How many of us know that the greatest investment you can make is not in stock or in real estate or in, mutual funds or all of that? The greatest investments that you can make is in yourself. You see, almost 80% of the profits that I've enjoyed in my lifetime is because I grew myself. When you grow yourself, everything works. When you work, everything will work in your life. So invest in yourself. Buy books, learn relevant skills, attend trainings. It's a good investment, even though it does not produce profit immediately, you see. But I tell you, it will produce profit for you sustainably. I remember many years ago, I went to buy books from a bookshop, and then the young man, the guy who sells the books there, he looked at me and said, "Mr. Emmanuel, you are a wise man." And I said, "Why do you say I'm a wise man?" He said, "Because the books you are buying today will pay for the things the material things that you will need tomorrow." I said, "You are the wise man. For you to know this, you are the wise man." So when you invest in yourself, it's low risk, but the reward is high. The reward is high. So invest in yourself. The second category of risk reward ratio is low risk, low reward. Low risk, low reward. For example, putting your money in a bank. Unfortunately, I will not advise that you put your money in a bank because they're even removing money now from banks. You know, things like buying treasury bills, putting your money in fixed deposits. Those are low risk, low reward, right? The third category of investment based on risk reward ratio is medium risk, medium reward. Medium risk, medium reward. For example, high yield interest savings account, mutual funds, stocks, some stocks, you know, saving in dollars. These are medium risk and medium reward. In fact, their risks are usually very low. I would encourage mutual funds. If you are not investing in mutual funds, that's the first kind of investment I would encourage anybody to start with. Mutual funds. They give about 16%, you know, interest rate. You can use Piggyvest, you can use Cowrywise, you can use ARM. This is not me promoting any platform. I'm not a sponsor of any of these platforms or an ambassador. I'm just sharing because some of these platforms I've used. But take advantage, go and study, go and learn about them, you see. But try mutual funds. And then there is high risk, high reward. High risk, high reward. Things like Forex. I consider Forex to be high risk, high reward. But you see, you can lower the risk through knowledge. Digital currencies like cryptos and all of these things, they are high risk, high rewards. There's what they call volatile stocks. Stocks that you can buy at 20 naira, and then in a month they can shoot as high as 100 naira per stock or 200 naira thereabout. They are volatile because they can also go down. So you need to learn these different investments. I would encourage you, take out time to study investment. It's one of the things I'm doing currently at this stage and at this level of my life. There are other unclassified investments and opportunities. Their risks usually varies based on your knowledge. For example, buying land to develop on it later. You see, if you go and buy land in Boko Haram estate, you see, generally buying land is a good investment. But if you go and buy land in Sambisa, you just wasted your money. So you see, depending on your knowledge, these kinds of investment can either be good investments or bad investments. Buying and flipping properties, buying precious metals like golds, like diamonds, all of these are investments, but it takes a lot of knowledge. That's why I recommend that you learn investments. There are investment brokers. There are people who teach investments. You can learn from them, or you can give them your money to help you grow. But by all means, you cannot multiply money if you do not invest money. The only way to grow money is through investment. Pay attention to the laws that I shared, laws of investment, because a lot of people, in a bid to increase or grow their money, they lose their capital. So you have to do it with a lot of intelligence and a lot of wisdom. So there are 3 pillars that I shared with us for financial prosperity. Number 1, I said you need to learn how to manage money, financial management systems. Number 2, you need to learn how to make money. And then number 3, you need to know how to grow money. That is how to invest your money. My final thought, and then we'll wrap up for tonight. My final thought. I wrote down here that financial prosperity is one area where your ignorance is quickly exposed. If you lack knowledge, it will show. When you are broke, the problem is not money problem. The problem is financial intelligence problem. You see, and I can prove that. There are many people who keep saying what they need is money to do business. When you give them money, come back after 3 months, you will notice they are still broke. So the problem was never the resources. The problem was ignorance. A man whose mind is not empowered will never be financially free, even if you empower him physically with resources. So financial prosperity starts with the mind. You have to empower your mind first before your hands will be full. Remember, thou anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. I recommended 3 books the last session that we had, the part 1. Let me recommend them again. Number 1, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clayson. Get that book and read it at least 10 times. Number 2, The Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Get that book, read it 10 times. Number 3, School of Money by Emmanuel. If you read these 3 books and you study them, there will be a significant improvement in your finances. One other thought that I'd like to share with us is that financial prosperity is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience and delayed gratification. Anybody you see who just became wealthy overnight, that person did Yahoo Yahoo. And take note, there's a difference, like I said, between wealth and financial abundance and riches. You can be rich and not wealthy. So you can become rich overnight, but you cannot be wealthy overnight. So if it is wealth you desire, it takes time. It's a journey. You must take it one step at a time. It requires patience. It requires discipline, delayed gratification. You put your money, you watch it grow, and all of that. I remember when I used to make 500 naira every day for my investment. As I kept on growing, now it has significantly improved. So it took patience. When I make money, I put it into the investment. Now I can begin to eat from the children of my investment. As I make more money, I reinvest. That's how people become wealthy. You see, remember what I said wealth is. Wealth is financial abundance plus the ability to replenish it. That means you have investment vehicles plus the time freedom because your money is working for you. The time freedom to enjoy the money that you have made. Let me recommend that by this teaching, settle down and set goals. Set goals for your finances because you will not be disciplined if you don't have goals. Some of the goals that you can set. Remember, I said there are two savings you need to have. Investment savings and then living expense savings. You can set a goal that you want to meet your 9 months expense as savings in maybe 1 year. Let's say you spend 300,000 naira every month. You want to save 3 months of it, that's 900,000 naira. So you can set a goal. My first goal is to raise my living expense savings because of emergencies. Once you do that, you can now say, okay, my second goal is to raise 5 million naira and put in mutual fund so that I can begin to make money from mutual fund. Goal number 3, you can set a goal, is to buy stocks worth maybe 2 million naira for the next 5 years so that I can resell it and buy whatever it is. Set goals. I'm not going to set goals for you based on the teaching that I've shared. You can go back, listen to part 1 and part 2 again, and draw out goals, draw out lessons that you can put in practice and apply to get the results that would jumpstart your financial journey and your journey to the wealthy place. I hope we got value from tonight. It's been an exceptional teaching series, the pillars of financial prosperity, fundamentals of wealth and abundance. If you got value, let me see you comment value. Go ahead and comment value. It's been an exciting journey, an exciting teaching. This is one teaching that myself, I would have to go back and watch again. But I'm sure that it's been a wonderful time. Go ahead, let me see you comment value. Let me see the fire emoji in the comments. I would encourage that you go back and watch again. Just a few announcements. Take note, we're gearing up towards the 30-day reading challenge. So the 30-day reading challenge is starting in August. You can start preparing, hopefully by the end of this month or first week of July. By the end of next month or first week of July, we'll put the flyer out there. Let me encourage us. If you want me to mentor you, I have a mentorship program. I've had quite a number of people who have gone through that mentorship program, and the testimony has been phenomenal. The 90-day strategic growth daily mentor program, I cut across about 6 pillars of success. Productivity, personal transformation, relationships. I even taught on personal finance. So you want to get access, there's a 25% discount. The link is in the comments. Click on it, get access, send me a message so that we can add you up to the program. You want to have access to the audio of this teaching, click on the link so that you can join the Element Plus community. It gives you access to the resources from the teaching. So I'll share some of the links that I mentioned. I'll share the audio with you. It's a monthly token subscription program where you have that access. Let me also encourage, for those of us who want to support the Leaders Manna Network, there's a lot of work that we're doing. By the grace of God, next year we're going to be having our first physical session, our first physical seminar here in Zaria. It's going to be Upgrade Zaria. It's going to be a life transforming one. You want to support what we do. We're into capacity building for young people. The Leaders Manna Network is a non-profit organization, okay? This is not a profit business. I am driven by vision and passion to impart knowledge. That's why you're receiving what you're receiving for free. Most people will charge you for the kind of value, the kind and the quality of value that you are receiving. So be sure to support us if you can. The link is in the description to give. Just click on it. We're already working on getting a corporate account for the Leaders Manna Network. So, but you can make do with the link, I think, through Paystack to support us, and God will bless you even as you do so. Finally, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Very importantly, share and subscribe. If you're not yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe before leaving. If this is your first time, make sure you let me know in the comments. Don't also forget to leave in the comments the lessons that you've learned so that others who go through the comments can learn also. But I'm sure that it's been a mind-blowing one. Let me do a quick shout out and then we're done for the night. Special shout out and thanks to the Element team. Thank you so much, guys, for the amazing work that you're doing behind the scene. Let me do a quick shout out and then we're done. Mariam Sumaila, thank you for showing up. Vivian, God bless you. Nathan, thank you. Cyprian, God bless you. James, Binta, thank you so much. Thank you for showing up. I see Agnes, Simon, Michael, God bless you. Fominto, thank you so much. And your twin sister, I met her sister, like I said, in UK by the week. Thank you so much for showing up. Philip, God bless you. Jethro, Bawa Daniel, thank you. Mariam, I see you. God bless you. The servant, I see you. God bless you. Adesoji, I see you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. God bless you and have a restful night. Thank you.